Entrepreneurs, business owners, ministry leaders, I got a question for you. Do you find yourself not being able to get laser focused? In other words, you say so bogged down in the weeds that you can't quite get anything done and you need clarity? Well, I'm glad that you, and I'm not the only one, because here's what I'm gonna promise you. In this next episode, we're gonna pick up on part 2 on the 4 questions that you need to ask in order to gain clarity in business. Stick around, we'll be right back. What's going on, everybody? Glenn P. Brooks Jr. here. Super excited to be back with you for another edition of Bootstrapping Business and Ministry. Now, in the first part, we dealt with the first 2 clarity questions that need to be answered. In this particular part, we're going to deal with the second 2. Now, let me tell you guys a secret. If you do not do the work on these clarity questions, I guarantee you, you will stay stuck. Let me say it again. If you don't do the work, you will stay stuck. I'm going to take you back into the second part of a lunch and learn that I did with a group of people in our M.A.P.S Master Class to help them gain a level of clarity that will cause them to ask questions that lead closer to them executing than questions that lead them further from it. I promise you, this will help you. I'll be back right after this, tell you a little bit about how you can connect with us. Take a look at this, and I hope it helps. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? Number 3, here's how, and I'll give you a secret to this part. Number 3, the secret to number 3, it's what wakes you up and it's what keeps you up. It's what wakes you up in the morning. Your why is going to always be associated with what wakes you up and what keeps you up. It's the thing that every morning it's on your mind when you get up in the morning. It's the thing that every night when you get up, you can't go back to sleep because this thing keeps you up. Here's what I'm gonna also submit. Your why will change in seasons. Your why at 25 is gonna be very different than your why at 40. Your why prior to marriage is going to be very different than your why after marriage. Your why prior to having children is going to be very different than your why after or post kids. Your why will change in seasons. The important thing is to know, what is your why right now? So when I started our business, I built off of the fact that my why, because I was showing up in the personal development space only. I had not started the professional development part. So I hadn't started the MMC. I'd only been doing MAPS. My one thing, or my why, was helping to add value to parents so they don't find themselves raising children that have to recover from their childhood. That was my why. Jennifer, for me, if I walked into a grocery store and I saw a father mistreating his daughter or talking to his son any old kind of way, it was in me to step to this person and say something. Now, because I'm pretty good with words and I got a handle on it, I generally can do that without getting punched in the mouth, because I know how to do that respectfully. But it's the way that I do it, and I generally start with the child in mind. It's me sitting in the movie theater and the kid spilling their drink, their parent going off. Why did you do that? You're an embarrassment, da 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 da. And I'm able, the kid is crying. And I'm able to look over and say, sir, I would be more than happy if you would allow me. I'd be happy to buy both of you guys another drink. Y'all hear how that de-escalated the whole thing? Because what I couldn't take is I couldn't take them going in on their kid like that. But because I don't have a relationship, I can't just say, man, you need to shut up and sit down. Or are you tripping? What's wrong with you? That's what I want to say. Because I'm incensed at this point, because you're leveraging your strength against the weakness of a child, and that bothers me. Do y'all understand that? That is my why. Now that changes for couples. My why is that at that particular point is so that you can now not end your marriage in divorce unnecessarily. Because I've watched people get divorced because they don't know how to communicate. They love each other, but they just don't have the skill set of communication built in such a way that, quite frankly, they win. They lose because they don't know how to talk to each other. And they don't have to. So I'm saying that that's a clue as to your why is what wakes you up and what keeps you up. The last one, number 4, we talked about, number 1 is who are you? Number 2 is what do you do? Number 3 is why do you do it? Number 4 is who you do it for. When we talk about who you do it for, now we're talking about your target audience versus your target client. Y'all will always hear me talk that way. If you ever hear me do a talk on any level, you can listen to me within the first 30 seconds to 1 minute and tell, who am I addressing? Is it my target client or my target audience? You can tell, quite frankly, before I even have a talk. If you see me schedule a live, you look at the title. The title will tell you whether I'm communicating with my target audience or my target client. Now, true, there are times where they overlap. I get that. Does that make sense? But what I want you guys to focus in on is understanding, who are you talking to? Because this is the difference when it comes to attracting business. If you're not speaking the language of your target client, they're not going to spend money with you. Point blank, end of the story. If you watch Jennifer's IG feed, she's been able to leverage what she does, bring on a teammate who handles the social media. But what they're doing is that they're posting things that solve problems. You can tell who she's talking to. I can tell she's talking to a business owner that doesn't either A, understand email marketing, or B, they're not benefiting from it. She's also dealing with the problems or the issues that you think you have with it. Email marketing don't work. Her posts will speak to that. Are you a person that believes that email marketing doesn't work? I understand. I get it. Let me help you understand. Email marketing has to work because the people who want to hear from you are opting into that. There's a reason they're knocking at your door. Can I tell you that when you go to the car dealership, that's the mindset of a car dealer, a car salesman. When you show up on the lot, you're looking for a car. Nobody randomly stops. Let's just stop at the car dealership like, oh, well, because I ain't got nothing else to do. Now, because of the advent of social media, you ain't even got to kick tires like that. Back in the day, I remember times when we would go and test drive a car just because it was cool and we thought it was a hot car, and I just want to know what that Corvette, how it felt. I ain't got no Corvette money. But these days, you don't need to do that in the advent of social media. The truth of the matter is, if I'm on the car lot, I guarantee you I'm interested. I might not be interested to do it today, but I'm in the mindset. The salesman understand that you already are identifying yourself as his target client. Does that make sense? So he can position you. The question becomes, which one of these Jones do you want? There's a reason you're on the Corvette dealership lot as opposed to, and this is Chevrolet, you're looking at the Corvettes and not the Camaros. There's a whole reason for that. Does that make sense? And so I need you guys to understand that language. Well, I hope that's helped, guys. That is the answers to the questions that you need when we're talking about these clarity questions. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? And probably the most important, who do you do it for? I hope this was able to help you get laser focused. We teach these questions and we center around the answers of these questions in the M.A.P.S Master Class. It's an intensive that we take everybody who would like to go through with us, entrepreneurs, business owners, and ministry leaders specifically, every quarter in order to help them gain a level of clarity to increase their revenue and their reach in their business. Q1 is definitely open for registration. We definitely want to make sure that you get to be a part of that. And at the end of the day, here's what I know to be true. We all need some help. I hope y'all tune in to the next one and we'll talk to you then. Guys, if that's helped you on any level, I want to encourage you to like, subscribe, share this out to as many people as possible. Click the link, catch some of the other videos that we've put up, and I promise you guys, you cannot get to any place of significance by yourself. We all need some help. I'll see you guys soon.